Am I the asshole for being overly snarky to my mill, making her feel unwelcome? Throwaway as fam knows my main. I 27F have been married to my HB 28M for 3 years, together 5. Right away I noticed how his mother was so controlling and intrusive. He had to have a shared bank account with her. If she wanted something done he complied, if she made a demand he caved. Now I am a very outspoken person who doesn't take a lot of crap, so when she tried this stuff with me and I refused to bend to her will, it did not go well. I swear she had never heard the word no in her life. My then boyfriend started to notice and confirmed he hated how he was living, and I helped him become more independent and confident. By the time we moved in together 1.5 years later, he had no issue telling his mom no. So naturally she hates me. She is a massive boundary crosser, and while I get some pushback from my HB at times, a civil discussion results in a compromise or him agreeing with me cause she's nuts. E.g., the main boundary was no unexpected visits. We left a key at her place for emergencies and she would use it whenever she wanted. We changed our locks and revoked her key privilege, so she stole his keys to make a copy. We changed lock again and had the keys stamped with "do not copy." She was furious and I explained she had crossed the boundary so much she was now on a 30-day time-out and every unexpected visit restarts the clock. 74 days later she's off time-out. Well, with COVID HB for laid off and he takes care of all house stuff, easy, no kids, while I, a nurse, went from doing 5, 2, 2, 5 equals 84 hours. Now the 2 off are 8 hours and 2 of my 5 off are also 8 hours. I work 116 hours in 11 days and have been for months. I'm dead. I'm now back to taking my 5 off and got home to be met at the door with, "I'm sorry." I look and Mill is there. I ask if he invited her and he says no, so I figure. Fair game. Now this day at work had been messy. A man pulled his cath and sprayed me with pee among other things. I need a shower and I say I'm going to shower. She scoffs and says to come give her a hug and have a chat first, and I said, "Ma, I have another month's pee in my hair, but, if you really want a hug," and walked arms outstretched. She just went, "Ew, disgusting." HB and I giggled. When I came down, HB mentioned dinner in the fridge and I went to heat it up. She says, "What? You're not going to make us dinner?" "No." Huge scoff. "Well, usually when you have guests over this late you make them dinner." I just went, "Oh Mom. You're not a guest. Guests are invited," and she lost her mind. "I'm not coming over anymore. I'm not welcome. I just want stop by. I just asked, do you promise?" and she stormed out. HB thought it was hilarious. Phil, Sil, brother-in-law all think I'm a huge asshole. But I figure. You came uninvited into my home, knowing we hate it, and expected me to wine, dine and entertain you. This is my house. I'm under no obligation to be nice when you again crossed the biggest boundary we have. But even some of my friends are saying I'm the asshole, so Reddit. What's your verdict? I heart and arrow this. No. Not the asshole. This was very satisfying to read. Not the asshole, but your HB sure is. He should have never let her in the door. Now she knows that if she comes while you're at work he'll let her in and you'll end up having to be the bad guy when you get home after a long day. Side note. You should post this in r justnormal. They would probably love it. Not the asshole. First of all, you're a nurse during COVID. You're at the highest risk for contracting it. It's outrageous that someone you don't live with is coming over and insisting on hugs and visiting right now. Also, she was way out of line for requesting you make them dinner. I'm sorry, she sounds like a trip. You need to tell your husband to put his big boy panties on and control his mother. He can't let her walk all over you like this, and I'm glad you aren't standing for it yourself. If he is really on your side over hers, it's time he showed it. Not the asshole. You stick to what you say and you use humor. When my dill works lots of hours I leave dinner on the porch and text her, not drop in and expect to be entertained. Keep it up. Maybe she will learn. I just went, "Oh Mom. You're not a guest. Guests are invited. Oh, I just love you forever." Not the asshole. She knows you've asked her not to show up. She's trotting out that ridiculous old, "Well, if I'm not welcome when I act like an entitled idiot, I don't feel welcome at all" business, and holy cow, you need a break like no one's business. She's being a ridiculous diva and I love your response. Definitely not the asshole. She has huge boundary issues. Keep sticking up for yourself like you have been. Glad your husband is on your side. Info. Why are you friends with people who are supporting your mill? IDK how anyone who knows what nurses are going through right now could side with an unexpected, demanding, boundary-violating asshole like this. Here's why you're not the asshole and I'm definitely an ah. A man pulled his cath and sprayed me with pee among other things. I need a shower and I say I'm going to shower. She scoffs and says to come give her a hug and have a chat first and I said, Ma. I have another month's pee in my hair but, if you really want a hug. And walked arms outstretched. She just went ew, disgusting. I would have hugged her first, then mentioned I'm going upstairs to shower and she should go home and wash the patient's pee off of herself, too. You're not an asshole, you're a badass genius and your post made my day. I usually think of the perfect things to say long after the conversation is over and I really admire how adroit you were at handling this bullshit after having such a tough day. Applause. NTA, why did he let her in? Is she on AITA now? He is still part of the problem. You are the asshole for using am I the asshole as just no mill. This sub isn't for your rants. It's not here for you to get high fives. You never once considered yourself the asshole, and you don't remotely expect people to vote that way. Also, from the top comment. This was very satisfying to read. Yeah, that's all anyone posts here anymore. People like Op know she can come here and post, Justice Boner, stories to get validated. Not the asshole, Mill had it coming big time. Not the asshole, but your husband needs to enforce the boundary, too. Or at the very least, tell his mother to leave before you get home. Suggestion. That 30-day time out should go up by 5 days permanently every time she breaks the no dropping by rule. Not the asshole. Your Mill sounds like a nightmare. Not the asshole. What? You're not going to make us dinner, oh Lord. So many different responses to pick there but I loved yours. I don't think mine would have been that good. Tears of joy. You are the asshole you missed the opportunity to hug her, then tell her she should hurry home to wash the pee off of her. Not the asshole. You told her she was unwelcome. It's okay if she feels that way. NTA and I absolutely love your approach. If it was a first-time thing, that would be different. I very much stand by the, don't show up to my house unannounced. Good job for standing your ground. You are all the not the asshole. And you were not overly snarky. You were exactly the right amount snarky. Not the asshole. I thought you were actually quite civil. Given the day you had, you're also a nurse during COVID-19. So there's another stressor. She needs to learn boundaries. This story sounds like a power fantasy from a teen. Then everyone clapped. Not the asshole however. Not the asshole, given the history that was a pretty awesome response. And you got peed on so she's lucky it was just sass. Pretty sure I'd be throwing stuff if someone asked me to make them dinner as an uninvited guest with that kind of day. I'll be on the other side and say you are the asshole. This is only your side of the story. Maybe he did invite his mom over. The dinner thing is weird and I don't think anyone in their right mind would expect someone to cook for them if they don't live there. It all seems very biased and I'd have to say you're the asshole. But, in the event this is all true and not embellished, you and Mill are both Oz. Not the asshole but you should have hugged her and then told her about the other month's pee. Not the asshole, you have the patience of a saint for dealing with the rubbish she put you and your HB through before, and props to you for helping him be independent. If you'd just been nice to her in this occurrence, she would likely be coming right back soon after, and the cycle would just keep going. So it's probably better in the long run that she says she's not coming over anymore. Not the asshole, the Mill is a huge awe. Not the asshole. I recommend sharing over on our Justnormal. You're an awe. But not the eashole here if it makes sense. You petty. I love it though, be petty forever. Not the asshole. Did you really need to ask or did you just need to show off? Because that response to her being in your home at the end of the story was hilarious. Not the asshole. Is anyone else kind of aroused? God, I wish I'd said that to my Mill. Not the asshole. Your house, your rules. Keep enforcing your boundaries. Even a Mill needs to behave and treat people with respect, regardless of how they are related to each other. Your HB is in your corner, supportive of what you're doing, and that's what really matters. Don't pay no mind to the haters or choosing beggars. You command respect and that's something your in-laws will have to learn to deal with. Rock. Note to self. Don't eat while reading this sub. You're not a guest, guests are invited, and mac and cheese went up the nose as I started laughing. I'm in pain now. My eyes are all watery and I regret reading this. Also not the asshole LMAO. Not the asshole, and this is amazing. Also, the audacity of expecting you to be the perfect host after, firstly not being invited, and secondly after what was obviously a grueling shift, is astounding. You don't seem to have any problems with handling her though. Good for you. Keep working on helping your significant other polish that spine. Not the asshole. I love your supernova shinny spine. She wants you, a nurse, working 10+ hours a day during COVID, to make her dinner after coming over uninvited. Not the asshole. She got easy with just sarcasm from you. NTA, but she is totally going to keep coming by, don't let her temper tantrum fool you. Not the asshole. I was always raised with the understanding that it is basic manners to not just show up uninvited. Call ahead at the very least, but it's rude to assume you can just show up somewhere when you want without an explicit invite. I notice a lot of people seem to have missed that lesson. Was it just me? Even in college I had a lot of friends who would show up at my shared dorm and expect it to be time to hang out no matter what anyone else had going on, and no one but me ever seemed put off by it. Not the asshole at all. She knows she's not welcoming and just trying to have power over you. She's pissed you didn't let her. You might want to head over to our just no meal. Not the asshole, but your hubby sucks. You seem to be making a ton of excuses for him. He should have not let her in, fuck him being sorry. Plus, he should have made you all dinner or stood up for you when she said you should be making dinner after working 2 million hours. Not cool. NTA obviously. Not the asshole. I can only say, well played, very well played. Well, usually when you have guests over this late you make them dinner. I just went, oh mom. You're not a guest. Guests are invited. Okay, this is an absolutely hilarious line. I honestly wouldn't even care if this wasn't actually what was said at the time, and was instead what Op came up with later as what she wished she had said. It would still be awesome. She totally deserved that clapback solely for the, usually when you have guests over this late. I would have said the same in something like, well sure, if I had invited them, so essentially what you said. She has a lot of nerve waltzing in uninvited and unexpected and thinking you need to make her dinner. Wow, the one entitlement. Why would you want to come home after doing the job you do, taking care of others and the ill, to take care of someone else? Screw that and her. Oh shocker, all the in-laws hate it. Not the asshole. Your mill seems to think she's still dealing with 15/16 of a year olds, not nearly 30-year-old adults. WTF. Not the asshole and Eiley. Not the asshole at all. I think you actually exercised a great deal of restraint, considering. OMG. As if life isn't tough enough as it is right now. Definitely not the asshole. Good job on setting boundaries. But I agree, your hubs needs to set the boundaries with her also. You should never have to come home to any unwelcome guest, let alone have her expect you to cook for her and serve her after the hours you've been working. Also, thanks for your hard work and dedication. Thumbs up, medium light skin tone. NTA, people who are saying you are, will be her next victims and they don't want to. OMG, you are absolutely the furthest thing from being the asshole I have read yet. Your mill sounds like a complete nightmare, and you are likely correct that she has never been told no before. Her actions are so far over the line, and your in-laws and friends who say you're the asshole are dead wrong. Your mill has clearly got everyone around her gaslit into thinking she has the right to be a controlling, interfering, domineering jerk. You are not the asshole.